And then after that, we can try to drill the same hole in the grow bed, the grow bed. Alright guys, welcome back to night 2 of Diving Into Aquaponics. So last night we were able to attach the fish tank to the wooden frame, and we were supposed to continue on until we attached the grow bed to the wooden frame. But it was too late, it was already 1 a.m. and I didn't have enough energy to finish it. So hopefully this night we can finish attaching that, so we can attach the water pump again and see how we can figure out the circulation of the water. So what we're gonna need to do is, since the length of the hose is like more than 2 feet long, so we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna wrap it around the frame, and then we're gonna have to design kind of like a bell siphon using I think for this project I'm gonna use a bottle, since we want to keep the costs low. So we can just use a bottle for that. We're just gonna attach it to the grow bed, and we're gonna go into detail as we're gonna build it later on. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna see other alternatives for what we can do. But so far for tonight, I think this is we're gonna be able to finish this by so it's already 12:18. It's a bit bright, but it's 12:18, and hopefully by 1:30 we're done with attaching the grow bed, and we have time left, or we're finishing the bell siphon. But other than that, I think we should be able to finish everything on time. So let's just start building again. Alright, so just for clarity's sake, last night we cut this in 2 pieces, right? And basically, when I measured the regular size of the tank, this is around 19 inches. So what we need to do is have this part where the water is gonna leave the grow bed 4 inches above where the water is from this point. So the water is actually 2 inches below the edge of the tank. So if you measure this 2 inches, and then you need to go up another 2 inches, and that's where this needs to be. So basically, when I measured this in a regular before, this was, oh sorry, so when it was like this is 19 inches high. So basically what we just need to change is measure where this edge is at 21 inches, and then that's basically just gonna be the right measurement for the grow bed. So right now, let's just figure out where 21 inches is based on the wooden frame, and then we can mark it there, and then we can figure out how we're gonna attach this to that point. So let's just start measuring right now. Alright, so let's grab our measuring tape. So basically what we need is 21 inches. So let's just get that, and then go up here and get our pencil and start measuring it out. So based on this is where 21 inches is. Right, 21 inches. Alright, so here we mark where 21 inches is. So basically this is where the tip, where the edge has to be on. So if you go like this, basically the top of the grow bed has to be exactly on the 21-inch mark. So if you measure that, this should be 2 inches from the edge of the tank, and then another 2 inches from the water. So basically 4 inches from the water. So I think this is accurate. If I follow this measurement, so I'm just gonna go around and measure the 21-inch mark on all of the sides. So let's grab that again. Let's extend our measuring tape. So remember, 21 inches from the bottom. So here, let's grab our pencil and start measuring the 21-inch mark. Alright, so you have all of the measurements down. You have the 21-inch mark here, 21-inch mark here, then another one on this one. So if we put the grow bed over it, this should be equal. Alright, so after marking everything, so the edge should be, as I said, the edge should be on the 21-inch mark. That means where we're gonna drill, it has to be a bit lower than that. So just like the tank and the bottom, we have a 2-inch safe space between the top and the edge and the grow material. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go down an inch from here, from the edge, and that's where we're gonna drill our hole. So from here, we're just gonna go down an inch, and then that's where we can start drilling. And it's not really that big of a what do you call that? Like a blockage or an obstruction. Even if it's a bit low, I think it should be fine. Since the grow medium is still gonna be all over the grow bed. So let's just get the 1 inch mark on all of the on all of the frames, and then we can start drilling. Alright, so we just finished attaching the grow bed to the frame and the tank. So now we have the entire container for our aquaponics system. Basically, I attached all of it using these nuts and bolts that I bought with washers, and from previously I mentioned that I just use my hand to tighten it. Now we're actually gonna get we're gonna use my wrenches and my pliers to tighten it. So let's just start doing that, and we're gonna clean it up a bit since let's see, yeah, you can see that there's a bunch of wood shavings and everything. So after we're gonna tighten this right now, and we're gonna see if we can build the bell siphon while it's already here. And if you can't, you can just easily remove the nuts and bolts, and we can start over and start building the bell siphon separately. But after this, I just want to start, after we tighten this, I just want to start running the water pump through the system and see how it works. So I'm just gonna tighten it, and then we'll be back with the testing of the water pump again. Alright, so we have it set up. We've got the tank filled with water, so 2 inches from the edge, and then we have the water pump in there, and we also have the hose stuck on it. So we're almost ready for the first trial. We're gonna figure out a way to strap this onto the wood, on the frame, so that we don't so this doesn't slip out and point somewhere else. See, because if I just leave it like that with water flowing, it's not gonna be as controllable. And for this first trial, I just want to try to cycle the water through the grow bed and the tank. So I'm gonna set this up somewhere and try to get the best angle right now. Be right back and try to place this in somewhere else. Alright guys, so I think this is the best angle that we can get. We have a clear view of the hose and the grow bed, although we can't really see the tank, but this is the best angle I could find. So let's just plug this in and see how it works out. Alright, so there, it's running. I'm actually just gonna grab this so you guys can see how it's working, because I think it's working pretty fine. So here, we've got the water from the hose, and now it's directly feeding towards the tank. And if you look closely at how it's going out of the mouth of the grow bed, it's producing a lot of bubbles, which would be sufficient for the fish that we're gonna have in there. So right now I'm holding this down, and we're gonna try to figure out a way to fix this onto the wooden frame that I've attached. So if you look at it from above, it's actually quite deformed. I think it's because of the placement of the wooden frame, but as you can see, it's still working properly. It's more of an aesthetic issue, but other than that, everything's working out. So here's the problem. As I mentioned in the previous vlog, the water goes down too quickly. That's why we need the bell siphon. This doesn't really like reach the top part of the grow bed, which is a problem since we want the water to be up to like the same as the tank in the bottom part. We need to have the water up to the side 2 inches from the edge of it. So when we put the bell siphon, the bell siphon is actually gonna be 2 inches from the edge of this, since we want the water to build up as high as that until it spills over downwards into the mouth of the grow bed and into the tank. So let's just unplug it right now, so we can start figuring out a way how to make the bell siphon while it's in here. I don't want to waste the water that I have filled into the tank, but I think I have a bottle somewhere over here and we can start building the bell siphon. So I'll probably cut to me having done that, so everything would be easier in editing. So let's just... Hey guys, so I got the system working. I don't know if you can hear that, but to me it's like music. So here, so we've got the water building up to, this is actually too high. This is around an inch from the edge of the grow bed, but it needs to be around 2 inches from the edge of the grow bed, like in the tank in the bottom. But so far I'm just using this C2 bottle that I cut the bottom of, and then I just pushed it down to the regular to where the mouth of the grow bed is, and it fits in there naturally, but there's some small parts in between that where the water seeps through, so we need to figure out how we're gonna seal that, so to avoid like leakage from the grow bed. So what we're trying to do is just keep the water keep all of the water going inside this this kind of like siphon that I made with the bottle. We don't want any of the water exiting the grow bed from somewhere else. That's why we need to seal that area with all of the other parts. But other than that, right now I'm just holding everything. As you can see, I'm holding the hose and I'm holding the siphon that I made. But we need to figure out how we're gonna hold the hose in place and figure out how we're gonna seal all of the areas and attach the bell siphon, the makeshift bell siphon that I made. So far everything is working properly. Obviously I'm gonna have to adjust the water when I put the rocks in here, but I think I'm not ready to put the rocks in yet. I need to figure out how to attach the siphon first before we put the rocks in. But I think we made a lot of progress tonight. We were able to get the system running and get the water flowing properly. I think this is also like a steady amount of water, a strong amount of water flowing through that's gonna provide the fish enough oxygen. And other than that, I don't think there are any issues. So far everything's working properly. I'll give you an update if something goes wrong. I also tried out this other material because I have these acrylic tubes in my condo unit, and I think it would be a cool material to use since it's transparent. It would be cool to just kind of like see the water. Right now it's kind of following the shape of the bottle. I mean, it's also nice, but I think an acrylic tube would look better. Although this is already like a great siphon, since a makeshift siphon. Makeshift siphon. Let's emphasize that this is very makeshift. The great thing about this is it fits into the mouth of the grow bed. So if you look closely, you can see right there. That's the That's the mouth of the bottle inside the mouth of the grow bed. So it's really nice because it fits in there. And then when we seal it, we just have to seal around the edges. Now, unlike the acrylic tube, where we actually have to figure out how we're gonna keep it straight and seal it without it fitting through the mouth. But I think this is a successful first trial. We can proceed with. I think we're gonna have to cut the siphon, the makeshift bell siphon, by probably around another inch, and then another inch, and then this should be good to go. We can start attaching it to the grow bed already. So I think that's it for tonight. Let's check the time. Alright, so it's not letting me check the time, but I think it's around 1:30, and I think we did most of what we were trying to do. We finished most of what we were trying to do, except for attaching the hose and attaching the siphon. But we've successfully tested the siphon and it works. We've tested the system, the water. We've tested everything that we wanted to try out, and I think that's good enough for this week. By next week, we're gonna get the stone in here. We're gonna attach the siphon, attach the hose, or maybe we'll start off the episode with everything attached already, and then we can slowly start adding in more things like the rocks, and when we're ready we can add the fish, since I feel like the fish are the most delicate part of the aquaponics system when you're starting it, since what we're trying to do for the fish, we have to cycle out the system. Normally we have to wait 8 weeks before we can actually add the fish in, but we're trying to rush this process. So what we can do is have the fish here already for when we start up the system. But what we're gonna have to do is replace a third of the water. You have to replace a third of the water every 3 days, and you have to do that consistently for around 3 weeks until the system is ready for an aquaponics system. But that's it for tonight. That's it for this week's installment of Diving Into Aquaponics. So, yeah, dive right into it. Alright guys, so you guys can probably hear the sound of trickling water in the background. That's because, that's right, we finished building the system. And it's a bit bright there because that's where the grow lights are. But as you can see, the wires are a bit of a mess, but we got the system running, and we got the grow material in the grow bed. Steady flow of water. Yeah, we got everything. So make sure you watch the next video.